I smiled and inhaled the line. That moment, the second you don't feel anything, it was glorious. I'd pay for it tomorrow. I knew that as the powder filled me, but a break from the voice. That mean old drunk in your mind that yells when you try to sleep. It's doubt, it's failure, it's the prophet that knows you will always be alone. Let's get wrecked and fucked, I whispered, handing my roommate the white as he smiled the devil's grin, preparing the line under the radar of the driver. We were along for the ride. The course of our evening was suddenly in the hands of another. The taxi to the club. Fuck it, I thought. I don't give a shit about casual conversation anyway. There was no need to talk. I watched the cars race away. The trees disappeared in the front of the stars. Those fucking stars. I used to lay down with her in the backyard on warm nights and try to decipher the constellations. Frail that she'd guess and I'd agree, and a muted laugh. Maybe she was right or not. I don't care. My God, try to breathe. What a light when she expressed joy. My essence was awakened when she was all of herself. There was an innocence in her explanation as a mother who had raised beautiful daughters, and the residue of their virginity was on their lips when they said, "I love you." Her smile was the dawn, a perfect contrast to the moon that filled the evening sky. Sounds about right. I smiled, then smiled again, laughing quietly to myself. What a woman. But I'd pause briefly after responding and turn to read her lips. Is this the reflection of a night sky in rare form? Fucking Christ, she was never so beautiful as when I had a moment when dying would be the fulfillment of a last wish. A blooming queen, a red rose in blood, a lover's touch in your eyes. Do you remember? I realized in the back of the cab I was starting to think about red too much, so I pretended to sneeze while reaching down in my sock for the bag. Took a hard hit, mean line, anger in force. I apologized and came up dizzy for air. Sorry, allergies are terrible tonight. Yes, oh, very bad. Yes, no good breathe. There we were at the club, another drink, anything. It was the only substance to stop the bitter drunk. Am I him? Have I become the voice that was in the shadows? Now in the strobe light of dancing, I laughed at him. Where are you now, old man? Parker thought he had the grip on me, but I was one up. I smiled. It was the chemical hooks that did it. So I walked, made my way through crowds of people I didn't know. Those shadow strangers and FB friends that have nothing to say but a like and a like and a like and a hashtag like. Dancing away, smiling, I didn't give a shit. If I could cut the strings, I would laugh as they ragdolled to the floor ballet of the golden-eyed target, lifeless. Dancing, little heartless creatures. Your only contribution is the minutiae of beauty. The phone rang. It was A. I snuck into the bathroom to take it while the music kept pounding against the walls. A boxer bass hit. I fell against the concrete gently and listened. Blue. Everything was strange blue light. I can feel that bitter glow. Low and cold, but then bright. Moving in the form of an ocean like a muted night sky. She told me she was sorry for disappearing. Not being a good friend with the breakup. Told her no problem when I understood. Then I cried. She cried. These moments overcame my powders, and I was goddamn mad about it. I paid good money not to feel, and cock-sucking, fuck-teasing laughed at me. Fuck, it's a fuck. I balanced the phone on my neck while I reached for the bag. Another bump. Something hard. Something nobody would hear. They wouldn't hear me through the music as I inhaled the drugs. A man needs a break from the heart. Even if it took a felony, it was worth it. Put the bag away and cried more. There goes the secret lights, and goodbye for now. The tears ran across my face, the silent kind. They rode by, the music, the dancers, the lights. Nobody outside taking a piss knew I was losing it in the stall. Fuck them. Even if they heard, I didn't care. I had the break, the numb, the quiet more, do you feel? We were just silver nitrate lovers now who had whispered eternal words that were shadows of ash. So I composed myself and made my way outside. It was a slow motion shot of walking. I was gone in the clouds of pyrotechnics. I went for a smoke, found my roommate talking to a beautiful blonde, Marilyn Monroe type. Blah. Boring-ass woman. She had the looks that compensated for a vapid mind. I could tell I even heard her speak. As my dad once said, that, my boy, is a pain in the ass. No taxi home, she gave us a ride back home, and I thanked her, but she made her way to the house with speed of a cockroach avoiding the light. So I spent the next hour sitting at the living room table trying to be pleasant, while my roommate focused on her cunt. She wore low-cut jeans with the top of her panties sticking out, and while I stared into the crystal ball of my gin, she looked at me and said, "Can I sit on your lap?" No. I turned her away because I knew she was the kind of woman that wouldn't spend the night. That's what I needed. I wouldn't pass on the blowjobs if I knew I could wake up next to a woman I'd fallen in love with years ago. She was the kind that found reasons to leave before she arrived, and that morning loneliness was crippling, especially in the cold. I excused myself and went to my cell. It was small, but served a purpose. I fell asleep to the sound of them fucking. I didn't care. I just looked at the ceiling and tried to silence their erotic chatter and wet drip fucking. God damn it. At least I had my fun.